Ah, yes. We're back with Colorbox Blue. Under the sea. Y'all see that in the background? Who the hell is that? I see you, fool. I can see you. But, there's subtitles on. Yeah, credits. You already know. There's the lore as well. And, so, we have 25 characters. We have the main roster and then 5 extras. So, this is finna be peak. Please, 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 leave a like and the subscribe button. You have me out of ton. Let's go. Beat 1. Glad it's getting eaten by fish. Not the freaky blue guy. Oh, is he special? He might be special, guys. He might be special. I don't remember, because it's been forever since I've played Colorbox. Yeah, and there's a lot of info. Name Lewis, age 28 or 26, gender male, height 5'7", species human, status alive. Our top aquatic pathologist at our National Marine Research Laboratory, but at a cost. The man is insufferable, stubborn, rude, and has no regard for anything he says towards others. Despite being a total jerk, he has proven to be an incredibly valuable asset in gathering information about the sea's infection. I have to hand it to him. He is a very hardworking man. He's not above using others as test subjects, but I have to regularly step in to combat his apathy towards people. Name Mar, age 31, gender male, height 5'6", species human, status alive. One of Zephyr's old fishing buddies. The two used to fish in all types of waters, from seaside catamarans to ocean cabin boats. There wasn't a body of water they wouldn't cross. One day, however, while on a boat out in the ocean, Mar had some struggle wrangling a particularly large catch. Despite both of their combined strength, the hulking beast of fish whipped Mar's line, sending him overboard. He was able to get back on board thanks to the deckhands, but now the fish is stuck to him. Seems like it doesn't want to budge. Unfortunately, Zephyr's down a fishing partner until further notice. Mar loved to fish by the bay connected to the sea. On the first day of their threatening infection, he begged me not to close the pier down. Now, hold on. I gotta go to freaking Bagger's Itch real quick, because, green and yellow, I believe, were recently updated. Okay, it's not on Itch. I gotta go to Bagger's. I don't think well, now I'm subscribed to Baggerhead. Don't start playing the Scarlet Incarnate Mix. Let's see here. Game Jolt. Never mind. Baggerhead. Colorbox by Baggerhead. I gotta check if these ones, yellow and green, which I believe are new releases, are actually fully finished or not. Games. Yeah, they're in the newest uploads, so they might be. I gotta check them both out real quick. Sorry, I'm on a side quest. Y'all know how it is. I'm sure. Help. Okay, let me go ahead and name Carl and Carlos, age 11, gender male, height 4847. Species human, status alive. These twins are truly a sight to behold, rarely seen apart from each other. Carl and Carlos are each other's greatest supporters. Being the more energetic of the two, Carl makes it a point to take Carlos everywhere he goes, hoping the time they spend together can cheer him up from his unfortunate accident. You see, during the first few weeks of the sea's infection, Carl and Carlos were spotted by the shoreline during a time before safety measures were implanted. As they played, the rising tide crashed against the shore, slashing water towards them, subsequently causing a drop to land in Carlos's eye. He complained about a stinging pain and blurring vision, and within minutes he lost complete function in the eye. Small growths began to envelop the retina. Luckily, a complete removal of the eye prevented any further damage, but I have no doubt the boy hasn't been the same since. Their parents are always out in the open ocean, hardly ever home to look after them. Zephyr seems more than happy to take care of them under his wing, though. Oh yes, Zephyr, the dude. Speaking of Zephyr. Okay, these mods are almost loaded. Name Zephyr, age 28, gender male, height 5'10", species human, status alive. One of Blue's more prolific fishers, Zephyr will tread any body of water for a good catch. His favorite fishing spots were always by the sea, relaxing in a chair with a cold drink in hand. However, due to recent events, we forbade all fishing activity until further notice. I hear he's trying to get used to fishing out in deep waters and by the ocean more often, but I have no doubt he misses the quieter atmosphere the sea provided. He's quite the kind-hearted man, as many people see him as a bit of a father figure, especially towards younger individuals. Quincy is pretty tweaky. Let's see here. I don't think it's done. I don't think they're finished yet. They might not be finished. Yeah, I don't think they're finished. So I'm not gonna play them yet until they update more. Name Quincy, age 78, gender male, height 5'7", species human, status alive/infected. Either that or Redbird tells me otherwise. He had been a nutcase long before the infection reports began to appear. That drum he carries around was given to him to curb his self-destructive tendencies, giving him something to expend his energy on. Though he still manages to hurt himself by banging his head repeatedly on it, one day during a hot summer, Quincy decided to quench his thirst by taking a sip of the sea's water. He was pulled away immediately after, but it was already too late. As the infection traveled to his brain, his lazy eye worsened, and his mania was exasperated. It's theorized that the infection caused growths to develop within Quincy's brain, resulting in his current symptoms. Clinical testing must be conducted to see know for certain. I just hope he doesn't pop a blood vessel or something before then. Other notes? Despite being very mentally unstable, he has his moments of showing he has a good heart. It doesn't last for long, though. Oh, my bad, Isaac. Anyways. Isaac, the creature, Big Mouth, deceased, asked the question, and, a glass, freaking stained glass window. Anyways. Pretty neat. Oops. Name Isaac, age 19, gender male, height 5'8", species human, status alive, mutated. Isaac always loved to sing by the sea, as he and his sister Caitlin would duet until sundown, almost every day. His baritone voice and her soothing cello would travel all throughout. a duet many grew to be familiar with. One day, however, this ritual will soon be interrupted. No one knows for sure what happened, but passerby heard a yelp, followed by a series of splashes before the both of them were gone. Though many assume they fell in, what they don't know is that it was an act of heroism. As Isaac tried to pull his sister out of the water, unfortunately, a black tar-like substance grabbed a hold of him, fusing him to the sea floor as his deep, resonating hum reverberates through the water, hoping one day Caitlin will find him. The tar-like substance seems to be keeping him alive. So that means that guy right there is, yep, he disappears and you place him up there. That's so cool. That's so cool. Oops. Name Cam-Lite. Age built 1.5 years ago. About 1.5 years ago. And gender not applicable. Height 1'5". Species machine. Status intact. These lightweight mobile cameras were a product of Surveillance Project to truly see what goes on in the depths below. Their surprising durability and capability of being controlled remotely, they have been a tremendous help in recovering information about the sea. With each new discovery, we are one step closer in being rid of this infection once and for all. Other notes? One camera found the source of the humming at the bottom of the sea, along with finding where Isaac's been all this time. Name Tim, age 18, gender male, height 5'6", species human, status unknown. Back when our understanding of the infection was rather limited, Lewis orchestrated a program to have subjects participate in a volunteer orientation experiment. With thousands of people living in blue, only one person showed up. Poor boy had no idea what he'd gotten into. He was instructed to be contained in a glass chamber hooked up to a cable. The idea was to have a live subject survey the area in case our remote cameras missed anything. The event he needed to be pulled up, he was to shake the cable. Fortunately, the distant warning call of a storm shook the sea, the cable shaking violently in a panic. The moment the chamber was pulled up, all that remained was shattered glass. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. Storm spotting seems to have increased since then for some reasons unknown to us. Uh-oh. Because it thinks you're gonna feed them. They think you're gonna feed them. So they're sitting down there like, show us the children. Give us the children. Please, give us the children. Name Warren, age 15, gender male, height 5'3", species human, status alive. The next caption of the Sea Guard Protection Force, or just Sea Guards for short. I thought him to be quite the responsible kid, outperforming all of his peers, thus earning him the rank of captain. I was unfortunately mistaken in my assumption. Forgetful, airheaded, instance after instance, people's lives were at risk under his negligence. Couldn't allow this to continue. I demoted him in favor of Model T's assistance, but he insists to still be part of the team. Other notes argues that since Model T isn't from Blue, he's not fit to be a captain. I make the calls, not him. Well, speaking of the Storms... Hello, big guy? Oh, no, not big guy. Hey dude, how's it going, gang? Sorry, I'm just like adjusting my hair. You don't gotta worry about that, considering I have about the hair length of these polos. Name Storn, age unknown, gender none, height 5'8", species Stornins, status alive. Forticautus cornisignator, also known as a storn, are humanoid creatures that live exclusively within the Blue Sea. It's unclear if they had been to appear due to the infection, or if they were merely aquatic life that has mutated so heavily that they could be considered an entirely new species. Whatever the case may be, storns appear to be quite territorial animals, fiercely protective over their claimed domains, using their horned protrusions to sound a warning whenever they feel threatened. Their long, muscular tails are not only used in combat, but they are also prehensile, making them quite powerful creatures. Steer clear if you happen to come across one. Other notes: the Storn's unusual body structure has led some extreme devotees of Aqua to believe the sea houses some form of power through the infection, claiming the creatures have been blessed with a humanoid form by Aqua themselves. Ooh. Well, here's Una, the tweaker. We knew what Una looks like via Gray. It's Omar. You look way better here, Omar. Mm-hmm. 7 out of 10. I haven't been ranking them, have I? Holy cow. These I give it a 7, these I give it an 8, and these I give a 7 as well. Oopsies. Name Una, age 22, gender male, height 5'5", species human, status alive and infected. He was always seen a bit of a recluse. A spiritual soul who put his trust solely in the hands of Aqua, the god of the waters. We never doubted his faith, but it came into question not too long ago. For as long as we can remember, he used the sea as a ritualistic source, using the water for purification and such. The day he injured his face, he splashed the sea's water on the wounds, claiming that Aqua's blessing would heal him. Not long after, his face grew twisted and grotesque, the open wounds festering into large, painful growths. I don't think anyone has seen Una leave the house since, but we still hear him play every now and then. As notes, he poured a lot of his heart and faith into his music. I suppose now it's the only thing he has at the moment. Name Octolin, age 17, gender unknown, species, or height 6'2", species octopus, status alive. A mysterious tentacled creature that was found halfway down the sea. It holds an ornately crafted cello, slightly warped by the sea's water comfortably, almost as if it's its own. Sometimes it likes to sit by the rocks across the shore and play before scurrying into the sea once spotted. If you're lucky and are by the sea before sundown, you can hear it play with the hum that emanates from below the sea, almost as if they're duetting. How curious. Oh, then this must be her, then. Must be his sister. We have reason to believe this thing might not be a true octopus. If our theories are correct, we could be looking at something far more complex. Like, old buddy's sister. Name a Model T, age 32, gender male, height 6'2", species human, status alive. Our allies in purple knew of our infectious plight since the beginning, sending us technology and equipment to help bolster our research. However, it became clear to me that our weakness lied in our defenses, as the Sea Guards and their captain proved to be a failure. To our surprise, a kind-hearted philanthropist inventor from Purple stepped forward to remedy this, creating a fortified metal suit that could withstand the infected waters while ensuring maximum mobility. I appointed him as the new Sea Guard captain, placing my trust in his hands. Warden didn't seem to be too pleased about being demoted. Helped break up the fight between Omar and King, as King was surprisingly strong against the fight thanks to the heads. This isn't Omar? Brother. Who the freak is this then? Who's Larry? I never heard of you, Larry. Name Larry, age 25, gender male, height 4'6", species human, status live, recovering. Despite our rigorous attempts to protect our people from the sea, there was still those who weren't as knowledgeable about current events. According to Model T, Larry was wading in the sea's waters practicing his guitar, seemingly unaware of the dangers. Just as he was pulled out, he began to complain about a searing pain that shot up his legs. It didn't take too long for him to lose feeling from the rest of the waist down entirely. As large bulbous growths dug into his skin, amputation seems to have stopped the infection from spreading, as we are currently looking to get prosthetics commissioned as compensation. The guitar he holds was given to him by a friend. Unfortunately, they were recently lost to the infection. Can't imagine what he must be going through. I don't think Larry was in the regular blue, right? Or am I stupid? Name Blapplebush, age 2, gender none, height 6'5", species mutated Blapplebush, status alive. These fruits are among Blue's most prized produce, enjoyed by everyone far and wide, grown exclusively underwater. These sweet, slightly tart delicacies burst with flavor, the juice popping in your mouth the moment you take a bite, literally. This particular Blapplebush, though, is special. A few bushes that grew by the sea began to mutate, most of which died from the infection. One, however, managed to survive, becoming bipedal and sentient, occasionally passing out blapples to passers-by fresh off the vine. Just be sure to disinfect it thoroughly. Other notes, the small pockets of juice glow slightly when touched. Huh. Hi, King. Here's Omar.
Down below, are you ready? Blue lanes light up the dark sea. Down below, are you ready?
Here's Bo.
Crossing waters of the sea. Down below, are you ready? Lord, stand up with me. Crossing waters of the sea. Through the pain we stand. And Lord, stand up with me. Crossing waters of the sea. Through the pain we stand. And Lord, stand up with me.
The animation is so clean on Omar.
Through the pain we stand. And Lord, stand up with me.
Voices, 7 out of 10. Name King, age 19, gender male, height 5'5", species human, status alive and infected. Uh-oh. Many call him a loser like Sponge, or utterly spineless like Sponge. His so-called friends picked on him relentlessly, up until one day they made a deal. They would stop calling him names, but only if he proved to them he wasn't a coward. They dared him to jump into the sea and stay there for a few minutes, regardless of what happens to him. It only took a minute for Warren to notice the commotion, shooing the onlookers away and pulling King out. He didn't seem to be in any pain, so Warren sent him home. Next day, 3 grotesque heads began to sprout from his back. They don't seem to be hostile, rather puppy-like in nature, but they do have some parasitic tendencies, siphoning all of King's energy into them. He's rather self-conscious of these creatures, hating how deformed it makes him look to others, but the heads that cared about his deeply. Perhaps that's why Omar's discomfort around him set him off so easily. He used to eat 3 times more than the average person to sustain himself. Good lord. Name Omar, age 18, gender male, height 5'4", species human, status alive and infected. I saw a splash of green run through the trees, followed by a pained thud. It seemed to run away from Red had ran yet again. It seemed scared beyond belief. Covered in leaves and grime from the aimless trek here. Taking him in and getting him cleaned up, I learned his true name, Omar. Perhaps he trusted me with this information due to my high hospitality. Still, he seemed protective over Mr. Time, people of Redtown. Can't say I'm too surprised. Tried to get him to see the beauty in blue, taking him on a tour of the city. Didn't expect it to end so poorly. His altercation with King caused him to ingest large amounts of seawater. The infection was completely paralyzing his gut, resulting in light ileus and bloating. While his breathing is a bit labored, he doesn't seem to be in critical condition. I'll continue to monitor his health, but there's only so much I can do for him. Other notes? Now I had to take him somewhere else to get him treated. Yep, to Pink. Name Torch, age 15, gender none, height 6 foot, species sentient torch, status alive. These waterproof flames burn brightly across the city streets. as well as acting as beacons for those out in the open waters whose boats are too far from the lighthouse to reach. These blue flames have become somewhat of a symbol for us in the city, that despite the odds we remain ever vigilant, ever burning. This particular touch seems to be inhabited by a peculiar fire spirit that likes to hop from torch to torch. They don't seem to bother anyone though, so we chose to just leave them be. We're not sure where this flame spirit came from, but they seem very protective over the torches. I wonder why. I wonder why. Let me check my comments. Sorry, I have to I always check my comments mid-video for some reason. I don't know why. It's a thing. Anyways. Name Mariah. Scary. It's Mariah, no Carrie. Age 26, gender female, height 6'3", species mermaid, status alive. Mermaids are quite rare to come upon these days, even rarer for them to be seaborn. Mariah, however, is a unique exception. One of our sea guards found her beached, unconscious, and barely breathing. Interestingly, though, she seems rather resilient to the sea's infection, only having minor mutations on her face. Lewis opted to keep her contained in his lab for study, and while it seems rather cruel to keep her in confinement, desperate times call for desperate measures. For her safety and the safety of others, perhaps her perspective on this infection can help us understand its nature. She's quite irritable, especially towards Lewis. I don't blame her, given how much she misses home. And then the blue virus. Name Vo, age 42, gender female, height 6 feet, species robot, status functioning. For generations, the city of Blue stood tall against the nagging thorn on our side of this red town, a bickering that's older than many of us. It was built to uphold the responsibility of the city's safety and prosperity, but even with our leaders gone, Red still continues to poke at us like a petulant child. Not this time, no. Since there is one variable that's changed, our leaders never took the fight to each other. I plan on ending this squabbling once and for all, and Mr. Time's leave to the forest is the perfect opportunity. However, that boy, Omar, he changes things. I wonder if I can get him to see the truth about Red. He could pose a valuable asset. Other notes? My time in Red was uneventful, much to my surprise. Okay, yeah, we got the flora, fauna, and other stuff. The blue virus, our current findings, as it stands, the cure to this disease remains out of reach for us, but we do have some knowledge that may be of use. It can infect anything organic, from fish to algae to people, as the moment it comes in contact with the sea, the pathogen will bind itself to it. Over time, it slowly accumulates in bunches, forming like blue tumor-like growths. Once the infection progresses further, the growths will burrow itself further into the subject, causing the affected area to become paralyzed. Once the infection reaches the final stage, the subject is now completely encased in a fleshy mass, unresponsive to any form of stimulation. What emerges from the mass differs based on the infected themselves, but the result always seems to be the same: some form of mutation that completely transforms the subject. The blue virus theories. Our leading theory is that the pathogen is somehow sentient, or at the very least houses some form of rudimentary intelligence, capable of strategically mutating its victims in a way that uniquely enhances their aquatic capabilities. This may be why victims who already possess aquatic features seem to be somewhat resilient to the infection. Some believe this pathogen to be a curse, but instead a blessing. Not to be a curse. To not be a curse, but instead a blessing in disguise, a way to be closer to Aqua and the sea they have gifted us. Utter nonsense, if you ask me. Regardless, I'm going to bring some samples to the head scientist over at the Purple City. Maybe they'll know a solution. Flora, damp palm. Often lining the beach side of the city, damp palms get their name from the flowers that bloom from them, which often grow in bunches and produce a very sweet, liquidy sap. This sap can be used as a sweetener for desserts or drinks, but some people like to put it in their soaps and shampoos, as it's said to have some benefit for both the hair and skin. Azure pepper, a very common herb found in blue. Azure pepper isn't actually pepper at all, but instead refers to the peppery taste that comes from the seeds that are often dried and crushed to be used as seasoning for many fish dishes. Seeds aren't the only things that can be used, as the leaves, flowers, and even the roots can all be utilized, ensuring nothing ever goes to waste. Ceruleus kelp. Large bunches of those plants can be found in both the blue sea and the vast ocean. But there are very stark differences between the two. Ordinary Ceruleus kelp form kelp forests and provide food for both people and animals alike. Mutated variants are often volatile, slowly wrapping around prey and constricting them, dissolving them into a black tar-like substance that tends to fall to the seafloor. If I wasn't stupid, I'd assume that this substance used to be someone. Completely based on what this says, it's dissolving them into a black tar-like substance that tends to fall to the seafloor. So that's exactly what it's doing. The tar substance was a person, and it's keeping someone down there. Maybe that's old buddy's sister. You never know. Other general flora and produce include globe thistles, cornflowers, hydrangeas, blue stars, blueberries, blue corn, and juniper berries. Fauna, cabal squid. These small tentacle critters might look pitiful, but are often seen swimming in groups, capable of bombarding larger prey and creating massive ink veils when they feel threatened. Their ink is commonly used for paints, but some people use it for culinary purposes as well. So it's like squid ink pasta? Rocky seal. The rocky cliffsides are riddled with these guys, and while tend to be a bit loud and obnoxious, they help to maintain Blue's expansive ecosystem. Though there was some history of poaching in the past that led to them becoming endangered, conservation efforts have been made out to help preserve the population. Royal booby gull. Among the most common seabirds, royal buoys tend to hang around the shore trying to harass fishermen for their catches. While annoying, they used to be quite useful for sailors for navigation, for a sitting royal booby meant you were close to land. Their use is what earned them their name. Other general fauna and insects include blue grosbeak, belted kingfisher, great blue heron, blue jay, familiar bluet, small blue, cobalt blue tarantula, electric blue day gecko, and blue-lipped sea crate. And then finally, other info. Blue is recognized as one of the most powerful nations, owing to its affiliations with the cyber city of Purple and its advanced technological capabilities. Although a militaristic approach does not typically characterize it, Blue is highly protective of its territorial integrity and generally exhibits distrust toward other nations. Historically, Blue was governed by a council, with those construction being attributed to the council leader. The nation's leading exports, fish, oil, and technology, combined with a formidable military presence, established Blue as a global superpower, prompting caution from other nations, particularly Red, which has a long-standing conflict with Blue. Blue has emerged as a successor in the council's absence and is committed to preserving the nation's power. Nevertheless, the sea presents a considerable challenge. Previously, the sea, formed by a geological crater that gradually accumulated water over millennia, provided abundant resources critical to the city's economy. Currently, however, it poses a threat to the stability and integrity of the city from within. And all the lures red. Now we got the bonuses. We got 5 bonuses. Bonus 1. He's very spinny. Bonus 2. Oh, I don't like you. Goodbye. Off he went. I love this dude. This dude sounds so good. Okay, it's apparently really loud when you turn that off. But he sounds great. So let's see. Tislub is extra. Tislub created extra 1. Lex Lim created extra 2. Llama and Brown created extra 3. And composer Janus, JT, and Melon Man created extra character 4. And then Famglads 2020 made extra character 5. So that was blue. It was very blue. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at TheStopper8 and join the Discord. Link to which is in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.